Health of the team going into this game. What do you think about it?
Very good. We had a couple guys dinged up. A couple guys were questionable on our list. Chip and Lamar and all those guys. They trained in full, so I'll have a full roster to choose from.
When you have that full roster, you have more than 11 guys that look capable of starting?
Yeah.
How do you make those decisions? Is it on form in games? Is it on form in practice?
Form in games, form in practice, matchups, rest. We're at the tail end of a long week. All those things go into consideration.
For the non-national team guys, do you look at them and give them, hey, you can rest next week while those guys are away on break?
Yeah, we've said that to certain people.
Who is currently responsible for reminding people that this is Portland versus Seattle? You've had that role in the past. Zach Scott's had that role. Brad's had that role.
Well, I can tell you one little story. So, when Nico has been the captain and Ozzy was making his way back, the captain in our team huddle always speaks up right after the coin flip, comes in, rallies the troops, and it's rah-rah. And Zach was great at it. Ozzy's been good at it. And then I had Nico captain for a couple games. And Nico said, hey, Ozzy, can you help me here? And Nico's going, okay, Ozzy's going to say some words. And then Ozzy comes in there and fires up the crew. And it was kind of great because, Nico's English skills are still not quite up to par. And Ozzy knows a few more swear words in English. And it was a team effort. So Nico, Ozzy, Steph Fry, Chad Marshall, who's been here now for a long time, they all get it. It's become a bit more of a team effort. I think we, over the years, have had certain individuals, starting with Casey, he knew what the rivalry was about, right? Zach, for sure. But the new guys they're catching on.
Over the last few games, you've used kind of three separate tactics. You've attacked with possession and speed at the same time. You've used counterattacks. You've used slow and patient possession. Is that about the personnel on the field? Is that about reacting to other teams' squads, or is that just?
I think that is just each MLS game, manifests itself in different ways. We always try and push the tempo. We always try and press a little higher up the field and, dictate our tempo to teams, but sometimes it just doesn't work out. Kansas City had some good spells of possession against us. Minnesota actually had some good spells of possession against us. But we were able to kind of, manufacture ways how to win. If I'm looking at the Vancouver game, it was a little opposite. They dropped off, and, we were able to sustain a lot of possession. Not many transition moments in that game. So each game is different. But we always try and be consistent with the way we start the game, and then the players are smart enough to make those little changes based on the nuances of the game.
Coach, first place for second place tomorrow, just so happens to be Portland. The guys pretty excited?
I know they all say that they don't look at the standings, and we as coaches say we don't look at the standings, but we all look at the standings. We know what it's about. It's Cascadia Cup. It's Portland. It's first place. Everybody's aware of it.
Diego Valeri is absolutely on a roll right now. There's no slowing down to his game. The obvious, what makes him dangerous, and how do you defend him?
Well, okay, let's start at the back. So he actually defends when his team requires it. When the goalkeeper gets the ball or the ball turns over in the defensive third, he's usually one of the outlets that gets their transition game started. Through midfield, he's a good passer, possession guy. And then this year up front, he's been lights out as far as some of the goals he's scored. He's had a really good year. He's a tremendous player, and it will take a joint effort by, a lot of people to slow him down.
How do they change if Adi doesn't make the start?
Well, Maddox is different than Adi. Jordan is different than Will. They just change. They've trained with each other all year. Maddox, Adi, it's just a classic number 9 versus a slasher. Both good players. Both present different problems, but we've prepared for both.